Harvard professors literally dismissed Bill Gates as a delusional dreamer wasting his mathematical genius. In 1975, the 20-year-old computer science student sat across from faculty members who told him his software startup ideas were worthless distractions from serious academic work. They insisted he was throwing away a brilliant future for what they called basement tinkering with toys. But what if those same professors who humiliated him were about to witness the birth of the world's most valuable software empire? The Harvard Mathematics Department had high expectations for William Henry Gates III. Born into a prominent Seattle family in 1955, Gates had already demonstrated exceptional analytical abilities that caught the attention of prestigious institutions. His father was a successful attorney, his mother served on corporate boards, and young Bill seemed destined for traditional academic excellence. Harvard recruited him specifically for his mathematical prowess, expecting him to pursue advanced theoretical mathematics or perhaps economics. But Gates had discovered something far more captivating than abstract mathematical proofs. During his freshman year at Harvard in 1973, he spent countless hours in the computer laboratory, fascinated by the primitive machines that filled entire rooms. While his classmates focused on traditional coursework, Gates explored programming languages and dreamed of software applications that could revolutionize how people interacted with computers. He envisioned a future where every household would own a personal computer, an idea that seemed absolutely ridiculous to most academics. The turning point came during a faculty meeting in late 1974 when Gates presented his vision for commercial software development to several mathematics professors. He explained his belief that software would become more valuable than hardware, that programming could become a massive industry, and that personal computers would eventually outsell automobiles. The professors listened with barely concealed amusement, viewing his enthusiasm as the misguided passion of an immature student. Professor Richard Manning, who taught advanced calculus, spoke first with devastating clarity. He told Gates that software programming was nothing more than technical craftsmanship, comparable to learning to operate industrial machinery. Manning insisted that Gates possessed the intellectual capacity for groundbreaking mathematical research that could advance human knowledge for generations. He characterized Gates' software interests as intellectual slumming that would waste extraordinary natural talent. The mathematics department chair, Professor Harold Thompson, delivered an even more crushing assessment during that same meeting. Thompson explained that Harvard had invested considerable resources in Gates' education, expecting him to contribute to serious mathematical research or perhaps pursue doctoral studies at an elite institution. He told Gates directly that computer programming was a temporary technical skill that would become obsolete within a decade, while mathematical theory represented timeless intellectual achievement. Thompson went further, suggesting that Gates' fascination with commercial software development revealed a concerning lack of intellectual maturity. He warned that entrepreneurial ventures were distractions that prevented serious scholars from developing their full academic potential. The professor painted a picture of Gates as a promising student who was allowing himself to be seduced by trendy technological fads rather than pursuing substantial intellectual work. The faculty's dismissive attitude became even more apparent when Gates mentioned his programming partnership with Paul Allen, his friend from Seattle who had already graduated. Professor Manning interrupted to suggest that Gates was being led astray by someone who lacked the academic credentials for serious computer science research. He implied that Allen's influence was preventing Gates from recognizing his true calling in theoretical mathematics. But the most devastating moment came when Professor Thompson delivered his final verdict on Gates' software ambitions. Thompson stated flatly that commercial programming was beneath the intellectual standards expected of Harvard mathematics students. He suggested that Gates was confusing genuine innovation with mere technical competence, comparing software development to learning advanced accounting or mechanical engineering skills that required training but not intellectual brilliance. The professors concluded their assessment by strongly encouraging Gates to abandon his software interests immediately and focus entirely on mathematical research. They offered to arrange graduate school recommendations and research opportunities that would utilize his analytical abilities appropriately. Professor Manning even suggested specific areas of mathematical research where Gates could make meaningful contributions to academic knowledge. Walking out of that faculty meeting, Gates felt simultaneously humiliated and energized by their complete dismissal of his vision. The professors had essentially told him that his deepest intellectual passion was worthless, that his entrepreneurial dreams represented intellectual mediocrity. But instead of accepting their judgment, Gates began to see their dismissal as proof that they fundamentally misunderstood the revolutionary potential of personal computing and software development. Within weeks of that devastating faculty meeting, Gates made a decision that shocked everyone around him. He chose to leave Harvard at the end of his sophomore year, abandoning the prestigious degree that his professors valued so highly. In early 1975, he moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico to join Paul Allen in creating a software company they called Microsoft. The same professors who had dismissed his software interest watched in bewilderment as their promising mathematics student walked away from academic prestige. The first major breakthrough came almost immediately after Gates left Harvard. Microsoft developed a version of the basic programming language for the Altair 8800 microcomputer, creating their first significant commercial software product. While Gates's former professors continued teaching theoretical mathematics to small groups of graduate students, he was building the foundation for what would become the world's largest software company. The contrast could not have been more striking. By 1980, just 5 years after leaving Harvard, Gates had proven his professor spectacularly wrong about the commercial potential of software development. Microsoft had secured a contract with IBM to provide the operating system for their new personal computer, a deal worth $2.5 million initially, but with unlimited future licensing potential. The same faculty members who had characterized software as technical craftsmanship watched Gates negotiate agreements that would reshape the entire technology industry. The vindication accelerated throughout the 1980s as personal computers proliferated exactly as Gates had predicted. Microsoft's MS-DOS operating system became the standard for IBM-compatible computers, generating revenue that exceeded $140 million by 1985. Professor Thompson's prediction that software programming would become obsolete within a decade proved to be one of the most spectacularly incorrect assessments in academic history. Instead of disappearing, software development became the foundation for multiple trillion-dollar industries. The ultimate irony emerged when Microsoft went public in March 1986, creating a market valuation of $780 million on the first day of trading. Gates' stake in the company made him worth approximately $350 million at age 30, transforming the Harvard dropout into one of America's youngest billionaires. The same professors who had urged him to pursue graduate school research positions that might pay $25,000 annually watched as their former student accumulated wealth that exceeded most university endowments. But the most satisfying vindication came in the form of global recognition for Gates' contributions to technology and society. By 1995, Microsoft's Windows operating system ran on more than 100 million computers worldwide, fulfilling Gates' seemingly impossible prediction that every household would eventually own a personal computer. The professors who had dismissed his vision as intellectual mediocrity witnessed their former student receiving honorary degrees from prestigious institutions and being celebrated as one of history's most influential innovators. The Harvard faculty's assessment of Gates' potential proved to be one of the most costly misadjustments in educational history. They had evaluated his interests through the lens of traditional academic prestige, completely failing to recognize that he was positioning himself at the beginning of a technological revolution. Their dismissive attitude towards commercial software development revealed a fundamental blindness to emerging industries that would create unprecedented wealth and transform human civilization. The story of Gates' dismissal by Harvard professors offers a powerful lesson about the danger of institutional thinking and expert predictions. Academic institutions often struggle to recognize revolutionary potential because they evaluate new ideas using established criteria that may be completely irrelevant to emerging realities. The same intellectual frameworks that make professors excellent at evaluating traditional scholarship can blind them to paradigm-shifting opportunities that don't fit existing academic categories. Gates' experience demonstrates that sometimes the most valuable validation comes from being dismissed by the very authorities who claim to understand your field. The Harvard professor's dismissal freed him from academic expectations and allowed him to pursue his vision without compromise. Their dismissal became the ultimate proof that he was pursuing something genuinely revolutionary rather than following conventional wisdom.